Hey there folks, it's Reem again with another Conquest video. Last Argument of Kings. This is my first tournament recap. I hope to be doing more of these in the future as well as battle reports. I meant to take a bunch of pictures during the tournament, but unfortunately I forgot because I got caught up in, tournament and figuring out how to carry all my minis around and, setting up for each game. So in the future there'll be more pictures, so be a little bit shorter. I'll try to go in detail as I can. Here's my list. It is Orders Feudal 100 Kingdoms list. My Warlord was a Priory Commander, Crimson Tower with Caledburn, which makes it so that all the hits that the Priory Commander does, if they fail their defensive roll or if they succeed their defensive rolls, they have to re-roll them. So really helps get the damage through, and that works on impacts and attacks. With that commander, there's 2 Order of Crimson Tower Knights and then 1 Order of Sealed Temple. My next warband was a Mountain Noble Lord. He was a Dynastic ally with the Laurean Lance. That gives +1 brutal impact and also allowed me to re-roll the hits on the Mountain Noble Lord impact attacks. He had an MSU of Household Knights, a group of 4 Longbowmen, another MSU of Household Knights, and a unit of Mounted Squires. My last warband was a Noble Lord with the Flesh Carver, or Cleaver, excuse me. That makes it so the Warlord or the Noble Lord ignores the Hardened special rule. So any cleave you have does get through, makes them save on the evasion, or just cuts their defense down. He went Weapon Master for 2 more attacks. Or no, Weapon Master gives cleave. Graceful Companion gives 2 more attacks. And then Get in Position just gives his unit flank. He was in the Men of Arms with a seasoned veteran, just as like a bodyguard for him so that he can do some work. And then there was a unit of Mercenary Crossbowmen. So just to recap the Order's benefit here, because it's the main reason how come we brought the feudal stuff, is they benefit from the Orders as well. The Orders allows you to have all your command stands and all characters that are have the Orders tag to get the Flurry ability. So the Mountain Noble Lord and the Noble Lord get Flurry, so that makes the Noble Lord a lot more killy with all of his other stuff. And then all the command stands also get Flurry, so 1 stand in each of these units gets Flurry, which helps the damage output a little bit of the Mounted Squires, the Household Knights, the Men-at-Arms. It's not a lot, but especially on the MSUs, you can really feel it. It ups your damage by like 2 or 3 expected hits, getting that Flurry, depending on what you're, if you're inspired or not. So get into the first game here. So first game, I actually had a buy. It always tracks, you drive somewhere. I had to drive an hour and a half for this tournament. You drive somewhere and you get the buy. First one, first time meeting everyone there, and you get the buy. However, I did do a fun game with the TO/the Vanguard that was running it, Mike. I should clarify, this tournament was actually out in Rochester, Minnesota. So down in the southeast corner. There was 9 of us playing, so of course there's 1 person with a buy. There's another person there building and painting minis throughout the day. People stopped by for demos. It was at a little game store, or actually a pretty decently sized game store called Games and More. They had plenty of play space. They had Conquest available to purchase, and they actually gave a bit of a discount if you were there for the tournament. It was super nice, just event overall. Yeah, and we'll get back to the game. So I did a fun game with the TO. We played the same scenario that everyone else was playing during the tournament because they had the table set up for it. I was going against a city-states list. I also will in the future take better note of each of my opponent's lists and try and put them up on screen. I'll kind of give you a rundown from memory of what there was. So against me in this city-states list, there were 4 chariots. There was a Talos. There was a big phalangates, the big pikemen block. I think 6 of them with Aristarch. There was a unit of a Gema with a polemark that also had the thyrine in it. And then there was a unit of the light swordsman, the Thriakate, I think it is. Also, it had a Minotaur in there. So a really well balanced city-state list with plenty of chariots, a big Talos as an anchor. The Gema hit like a truck. The pikemen hit like a truck as well. It was just a very, very good list. My opponent was playing on the player 2 side, and I was playing on player 1. There were forest and fog throughout the area, as well as some impassable structures. So we'll kind of go through the game and the different parts of the objectives and how they played out. And yeah, pictures, maybe next time. So I started the game trying to focus, I believe it was on this objective, well, for sure the center, and I believe left, because the right had a forest over here I didn't want to mess with, because it messed with a lot of my impact attacks from cavalry. And this had some fog here on my side to cover me from chariots. So I sent my squires straight up the board. Turn 1, they ended within free charge range of objective B, which was the enemy one to me. And I moved up my longbowmen directly behind them, basically, or right in the middle, and then my crossbowsmen off to the side to kind of cover both of these objectives. Squires ended up, charging, doing 1 wound to the objective. Then they clashed to do 1 wound to the objective. The following turn, they clashed to kill the objective, so already kind of worth the 140 points. And then they charged his unit of light swordsmen, the Thracidites, back here, and they did a couple wounds. I knew they were going to die in response, but I just wanted to kind of stuff them up, give myself room to breathe for all my cavalry to come in, for my longbowmen to shoot away with their arcing fire at this unit. My longbowmen, after 3 rounds, ended up just shooting this unit to death of light swordsmen. I think it ended up shattering them because I broke them and then shattered them right away, I think on the beginning of round 4 or 3. The squires actually survived the attack back from this unit, but they got shot to death by chariots that would move forward, shoot me in the side, move backward. All 4 chariots came on this side throughout the battle. That was basically the center for the beginning part of the game. Talos eventually came in and had a face-off with some household knights that I sent up the middle to try and hold the position here. Some Crimson Tower Knights did end up circling around, and they got a charge clash in, and basically kind of nuked the Talos, and was easy to clean up. I don't think the Talos ended up killing anything. He heavily damaged the household knights, but didn't kill them. On this side, alright, we'll do the left side. It was a game of Sealed Temple, just waiting off the point. Whoops. I clicked. Sealed Temple waiting off the point, and this Pikes over here. The Pikes ended up doing some city-state shenanigans to get a nice charge. Got the charge in on the Sealed Temple. Nuked the Sealed Temple. But I had my swordsmen and my noble lord directly behind the Sealed Temple. So the men-at-arms and the pikemen end up dueling it out, and my noble lord, with some crossbow support, kind of nuked that formation without many losses. I had a unit of Crimson Tower Knights come over here round 3 because all 3 chariots were here, and then 1 was more in the center. And what ended up happening is, after I killed that pike formation, the Crimson Tower came up, tagged a chariot. I killed the spearmen on just a clash, so then I ended up charging into another chariot. So I tagged up 2 of them 1 round. The crossbows started picking away at chariots. I ended up just killing chariots and tagging the next set. Although, funnily enough, both the Crimson Tower and the Men-at-Arms left their chariots at 1 wound for a round, so it took them another round or so to carry the day. The Agema over here came over here to contest this point. They tried killing the MSU of Household Knights I sent here. I ended up living with 1 wound left, and then the Crimson Tower killed the Agema before then wrapping around to kill the Talos, as I mentioned earlier. It's a bit of a hodgepodge of what happened. I will say we called the game after 5 rounds because all he had left was the 1 chariot that was back here. And I had scoring all 3 zones. So, pretty decisive win, but a lot of it was helped by the fact that I was able to tag into those chariots, and the Agema didn't quite kill the Household Knight. I got some pretty good charge rolls in, although the opponent did get some very good defensive rolls. I know my Household Knights at one point rolled their attacks with the Mountain Noble Lord into the Talos, and they got 12 hits, and he saved all 12 wounds, just as Talos do. So it was a good thing that the Crimson Tower were able to take him down to size. But that was game 1. My list performed very well. The Seal Temple died. It's a very expensive unit to lose, but the Priory Commander being in there was super nice because it gave... Well, I guess it didn't come into effect, but it would have given him terrifying. And at least when the Seal Temple dying, the Priory Commander did get to hit on the way out to weaken the unit just a little bit for the Men-at-Arms and Noble Lord on foot to seize the day over here on this side. All right. Game 2. So this was against Nords, and it was on head-to-head. And it was, Raiders be raiding. There were 3 units of Raiders, which would work well in this list. I'll actually go over the objective before the list here. So head-to-head, if you don't know, this zone over here is worth 3 points to anybody that holds it. This zone is worth 4 points to player 2, 0 for player 1. And this one is worth 4 for player 1, 0 for player 2. So you're just trying to get to either your opponent's side and hold the point, or fight over this one. My opponent's list was 3 units of Raiders, all MSUs. One of them had a captain, the other 2 didn't. There was a Vargar Lord with a unit of Werewolves. There was a Fenrir Beast Pack, a Golter Beast Pack, a Sea Jotnar, Volva with 6 Valkyries, and a unit of Bear Starks. So quite a scary list with a lot of threats in there, with the Bear Starks and the Valkyrie and the Sea Jotnar and the pigs. There's just everything in the Nord list turned out to be a threat, as we'll get to later in the game. But to start it off, I guess as kind of give a layout of where obstacles were that really played an important role. It ended up being a forest just touching this zone. So you could just tow onto the zone with some stance and still be in a forest. There was a forest over here. There was a forest directly in between these two. There was a fog here and a fog here. And there was a hill in the very center between the fog clouds. So my unit of longbows came in round 1 in the center. Not a very favorable set of obstacles, I guess, for them. A lot of forest and a lot of fog, which is all obscuring. And my crossbows ended up coming up this side, round 1. My squires came in up this side, round 1, the full 19 inches. My plan here was to just hold them off on this side and try and fight for this side here. I figured I could wheel around and get some units on this side, try and thread the needle in between this forest that was over here and coming at an angle. And then the center was fairly open besides the fog and the hill, so I'm like, we can fight over the center. We don't need to deal with this forest that's directly in between these 2 points. He had a fair amount of reinforcements round 1. I believe he had 2 of his raiders, because the one with the captain made a beeline for this one. He had a unit of raiders come up here to guard this point, and he had his Vargar Lord come up this side directly to match my squires, who were riding the line, or kind of riding the end of the edge of the table here. Round 2, I believe I got basically all my mediums in, and he did as well. So we're off to a very fast game, which Nords really like, and I'm okay with. We ended up stalling. I had 3 characters, go pass, go pass, go pass. He ended up passing some with some units, or just, making some plays. I brought Seal Temple into this side to do the thing where I'm going to, we skirt this forest, come in at an angle. I think I ended up parking them somewhere about here. I had a unit of knights come up here as well. The Squires, he moved his Warlord up a little bit. I rolled like a 5 or a 6 on a charge with my Squires and got a charge clash in on the Warlord and Werewolves. And I got, like, with the flurry from the orders on the Squire, I got 5 hits on the one stand, and then I got another, like, 6 hits between the other 8 attacks that were there. So I got like 11 hits out of 13, and I think he only made 2 or 3 saves. And I one-shot his unit of Werewolves and killed his Warlord with the Squires in 1 activation. They ended up getting murked by a side charge of Raiders at the very end of the match. And this happening after I had already brought stuff in. Having one-shot the Werewolves here, I'm like, maybe I should have fought for this one instead of this one, because what also happened during this round is he brought the Valkyries in, and he got them set up so that I knew he was going to park them in the forest on this point. And them being in the forest, it was going to negate a lot of damage that my Sealed Temple were going to be able to do. But I decided to double down on it, and I think at the very end I brought my Men-at-Arms up to contest, or to support the Sealed Temple as well. So it was Sealed Temple, Men-at-Arms, longbows in the center, crossbowsmen were way over here just punking or getting ready to punk at stuff. Squires were dead, but they were way up here. I had a unit of household knights over here with the Mounted Noble Lord. And we are all set up for a pretty explosive round 3. Round 3 came. I think he got the rest of his stuff, and I got both of my Crimson Tower Knights. So we're all coming aboard for battle here. Things that happened during this round is I ended up moving my Sealed Temple just onto the point to contest it. I had my Men-at-Arms up here to support. He brought his Sea Jotnar up along this side to cover this flank. I brought my Crimson Tower Knights in to counter them. He charged with his Valkyrie off of the forest, and he slammed into the Sealed Temple. And he got like 20 hits with Bless, because he knew he could use it offensively. I didn't have anything else coming in this side. And for the second time, my Sealed Temple, who are defense 4, or defense 3 with shield, got murked. They all died to that one volume of attacks. And I think I killed the stand with the Priory Commander as he died. Actually, no, he didn't get an attack because he had already activated. Over on this side, the pigs came in. I started staging stuff up with Household Knights to try and hold the line over here. Bear Starks came up this side in the middle. So there's a lot of threats middle. Out in my other order of Crimson Tower Knights came up this side. So I had Crimson Tower Knights, MSU of Household Knights, Mounted Noble Lord with Household Knights, crossbows, longbows, Sealed Temple were dead, and Men-at-Arms here. That was the end of the third round. As the game kind of progressed with here, just this Valkyrie and Sea Jotnar block became just a force I couldn't reckon with. They came in, they crushed the men-at-arms. The Sea Jotnar came in, charged through the forest and got the impacts, but then clashed, and I think he one-shot my Crimson Tower Knights. The only thing that kind of went for me was in the direct center. As all this stuff was dying, I decided to just get the kill points, because you got points for killing regiments in this scenario as well. The later stuff that was over here. So my opponent did a really good job about setting up a trap. He had like the Bear Starks here, and a Raider turned here sideways that had pulled from over here. The Pigs had worked with another unit of Raiders to kill the Household Knights, and they were turning back around. And his Fenrir Beast Pack came up this way as well to support. I ended up throwing my 2 remaining cavalry units up here. So the Household Knights and the Crimson Tower Knights. With the support of Longbow Fire, we ended up killing the Bear Starks, the Raiders, the Fenrir Beast Pack. By the very end of it, though, of that confrontation, I had just 2 Crimson Tower Knights left. The Valkyrie at this point had marched up and killed the Longbowmen. The Sea Jotnar was sitting on the point, happy. Over here, like I said, the Pigs had killed my Mounted Noble Lord with the help of Raiders. There was one stand of Raiders with like 3 wounds on them that got into the Mercenary Crossbowmen, killed 2 stands with just attacks and resolve, because crossbows have no defense and very low defense, and ended up killing them the next round. So one guy or 1 wound of Raiders killed the full stand of crossbows. Turns out the Tenacious on the Raiders was very good. It saved them a lot of chip damage from the Mercenary Crossbows, longbows, and all that. I think the game ended on, I want to say, round 8 or round 9, I think, over here with my Crimson Tower Knights. 2 of them, just over the span of 2 turns, dying to 1 Gold-Tier Beastpack that they couldn't kill. It turns out that the Gold-Tier Beastpack, we were also fighting in fog, so our clash was down. But the Gold-Tier Beastpack with Flurry, they had Line Breaker, so we were kind of saving on the same defensive stats of 3. And they actually charged me with the Trample. The Gold-Tier Beastpack just wore down the Crimson Tower Knights, and that was the end of the game. I think we ended, I wanted to say I had like 18, 16 points to my opponent's like 60. It was something like that, because my entire army was dead, so he got points for all that, and he had been scoring this since like round 3, and he ended up scoring this for like the last 2 rounds. But it was a really great game. It was the first time fighting this style of Nord's List with a big Valkyrie block. I think I made a note here. I did forget to mention that. So the Seal Temple charged him, killed the Raiders with a captain, and the Valkyries came in and killed me. But the lesson here was don't fight Valkyries. Don't fight the Valkyrie block in a fair fight. In the forest there, on a one-on-one with the spellcaster, they're going to win against just a lot of things. But my opponent did a really good job. He had him angled the whole time. He had his Raiders angled, so when I killed him on my Sealed Temple and he charged me with the Valkyrie, he was still angled. So he had the Bear Starks over here to cover anything. Like if I threw something way down deep to try and charge aside, his Bear Starks could counter it. And then if I tried to throw something on this side, he had a Sea Giant to counter that as well. So the Valkyrie block was completely safe the entire time. Any chip damage I did do just got healed away. So my opponent's positioning was just excellent, and I wasn't ready for it. Even after the game, I think I sat and talked with him a couple minutes. I'm like, I don't even know what I should have done. Like when I saw the Valkyrie block come over here, I guess I could have just, moved everything this way. Just tried to hold B and keep you off A. Just because that Valkyrie block is so good. The Raiders were with Tenacious. were surprisingly harder to kill with my chip damage Longbowmen, and would survive with like 1 or 2 wounds from charges or clashes. The Sea Jotnar just came up and wrecked. Like I said, a Crimson Tower Knight 100-0. Crimson Tower Knight didn't get a chance to do anything. The Bear Starks with their Cleave 2, really, really good. The problem that this list has is, or 100 Kingdoms in general, is there's not hardly any evasion in the faction, and there's not hardly any hardened in the faction. So, and you're also, except for like Crimson Tower Knights and Ashen Dawn, you're on 4 wounds per stand. So you're hoping to just save on good defensive rolls. So you have like a lot of defense 3 with like rerolling 6s with feudal, or defense 4 rerolling 6s. The orders are like defense 3 with shields. But the pigs, you get Lion Breaker. If they're charging you to get brutal impact, you're saving on 2s. That's not good at all. You got just Cleave 2, not good at all. I will say that the orders does have the 1 time per game supremacy of getting hardened 1 and then +1 attack characteristic for orders units. That does come in handy, but that's only going to help you for 1 round. You got to kill a lot during that round, or hope to tank a lot that round and hit back, and I just didn't time it right this battle, and I ended up just getting wrecked. But it was a really good game. Opponent played it super well. I loved just fighting that Nords list. If I were to play Nords, I also like the Raiders, Bear Starks, Valkyrie block. The Sea Jotnar was surprising to me, but just seeing it in action, taking on Order and Crimson Tower Knights, super cool. So that was game 2. Game 3 is they have a Rakshasa, and it was on melee. So I was against Sorcerer Kings. Melee here is you get 2 points if you're holding more than 2 or more objectives. I believe the 2 center ones are worth 3, and the outside ones are worth 4 per round. I could have those backwards. Sorcerer King list was a Mahat, so the big elephant with a spellcaster on it. There was one of the unit of bows with his Warlord. What is that? Denier Disciples with Maharaja. He had a sorcerer with a unit of Rajakar, the swordsman, 1 unit of ghouls, 2 flamecasters, 2 sword dancers, a Rakshasa with like the 6 swords, so the character hunter one. And was there anything else in the list? I don't believe there was. So my goal for this one was to be just holding all the points. Contest these 3. My Longbowmen can easily hold this one or sit on this one and shoot. Because the forests were here, but there was like a forest here, a forest here, a hill here, a forest here again. So it's pretty open in the center. So the Longbowmen was going to sit here. Crossbowsmen are going to sit hill, and there was a hill here as well. Crossbowsmen are going to go up on the hill. Longbows are going to stay back. We're going to fight for the center with range support and jump over with cavalry. And we're going to fight for essentially these 3 objectives. Once again, honorable mention to the Squires. They just came up the center round 1 with the longbows and the crossbows. And his Denier Disciple archers parked back here with his Maharaja. And I ended up being within charge range of them. So I did like another 4. I think I needed a 4 on the charge. So I rolled for the charge. I got it. I only killed 1 stand. He saved pretty well, but there was a chance at the top of round 2 that I could have, if it had been like the Nords, I could have, if I had rolled just a little bit better and he'd saved a bit worse. Classic story. I could have one-shot his Warlord. Which would have been just hilarious. But it did kind of force him to deploy reinforcements here. He did both flamecasters. He did 1 directly behind and 1 off to the side just so they could lob stuff over to make sure they could kill the Squire unit so it wouldn't be there for the next round. Just seeing over here if there's anything I wanted to highlight. As the game developed from this early late play that was going on, it ended up just being I did really contest these three with everything across the board. I brought my Mountain Noble Lord over here. Sealed Temple came up this side. An Order of Crimson Tower came over here, and an Order of Crimson Tower came over here, and an MSU of Household Knights came over here as well. The Rakshasa came up here. The ghouls came up throwing the crossbows. I charged them with the Household Knights. The Rakshasa came up and side charged my Household Knights. He tried to duel my Mounted Noble Lord, and I was deciding what to do. I was like, well, I found out later I made the right decision. If I didn't accept the duel, and he just killed my unit because he gets flurry if I decline, I won't get the die fighting because my stand wasn't touching his stand. So I did decide to duel him just because I'll get some chip damage in. If I survive, all the better. Or I'll have more chance to survive as a unit. So with his 15 attacks, I think he only hit me twice. And I saved both of them. And then I think I hit him, because I had flurry, I think I hit him 4 or 5. I hit him 5 times. He ended up taking 6 damage overall between the resolves and everything. But funny enough, even though he lost the duel, he did end up one-shotting the unit of knights. So then my warlord died. So that unit dies, but then it ends up getting killed from longbow fire and crossbow fire, and the Crimson Towers coming in, charge it as well. They'll really finish it off. It actually explodes because the Mahut at this point had moved up. So there was a wizard close enough to the Rakshasa that it blows up when it dies, and it killed a Crimson Tower stand, which is kind of devastating because I had to fight a Mahut yet. And Rakshasa was dead. I had seized this zone with my MSU of Household Knights. On this side, there was the 2 Sword Dancers, the 2 Flame Casters, and the Denier Disciples after cleaning up my Squires. My Men-at-Arms block came up here. My Sealed Temple came up. Crimson Tower came up. The center here. We ended up just winning fights over here. The Sealed Temple killed the unit of Flame Casters, killed the unit of Sword Dancers, threatened another one. We came up, one-shot another unit of Sword Dancers. All in all, it was just a game of gradual victories. We ended up having to call for time. At the very end, when we called for time, I had most of my army left. Sorry for the pauses, coughing fit here. But he has Mahut yet at full health, and he was healing it. But basically, all my knights were over here, finishing up all the small stuff. I was holding a point yet. My longbow had died because the Mahut had came over here and charged it. And we played it out. It was basically I'd be holding some version of 2 to 3 of these zones as I shifted stuff around, and he'd have just the Mahut left. So that's what we called the game. Okay. Thoughts. So Rochester, Minnesota tournament scene was really great, really friendly. It was fun to play with all the people there. And it apparently had doubled. So there were, I think, 4 or 5 more people than the last time they did a tournament. And there sounds like there's going to be even more people building armies and stuff. So I think it will grow in the future. I'll definitely be going back again sometime. Mike did a great job running it. We actually, at the end of round 1, we all had a buy. So we went and we all got, or the majority of us went and just carpooled and got pizza. And then came back to the game store and ate pizza before game 2. I ended up getting 3rd place overall. The list played really well, and the thing that really helps it, at least for me on the first tournament scene, is first tournament was there wasn't a lot to forget. there wasn't too many items or stacking buffs. It was like you get flurry on all these things, and the noble lords have a reroll sixes aura of 8 inches. It's only two things to really remember. I really like the two Crimson Tower Knights. They punch down really good against mediums and lights, and if they get the charge, they can really hurt heavies. They aren't an anvil like Ashen, though, as witnessed by the Mound Jotnar and other things. If they get hit in the side, or if you fight something with Lineblaker or something with Cleave, you're going to really start losing those Crimson Tower Knights pretty quick. They did get a little bit cheaper in the update, though, so it hurts a little bit less. Speaking of the update, I haven't fully remade it because the app isn't updated, but I believe it's going to be 20-ish to 30-ish points cheaper after the update. And I'd maybe look into replacing the crossbows with a unit of men-at-arms as just having another unit that can sit and score a zone if needed. A couple of the games I had an MSU of Household Knights that I preferred probably keep moving to attack things, but I ended up just leaving on a point to score. And especially now they're 170 points after the update. Maybe a men-at-arms over a crossbow. But that was my first tournament. It was a lot of fun. Hope to give you more updates in the future of tournaments and battles. Let me know what kind of format you want. If you want like just an overall picture for the round, if you want 3 or 4 pictures by round. I've seen a variety of people do it. I like them both ways, but maybe some people prefer one way over the other. Otherwise, you all have a great one.